why don't you just take that to the basket and get fouled?
Now,
just go. Just go.
He's not. I mean, you can see he can't turn the corner right now with that.
Do you really believe that?
Yes. Skip,
okay,
Skip, you're watching the game. Skip,
okay,
you're watching the game.
I didn't see that. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. And then he said after the Friday night game, I knew I wasn't going to get back to 100%. It's impossible. I don't think I will ever get back to 100% in my career. I thought his pride was more hurt than his ankle at that point because he had missed the shot to win the game.
Right.
Okay.
But that's hyperbole. Yeah, I mean, he knows he's not going to be 100% this year. It's hard to get healthy while you're playing on the injured body part. He knows that. But the career, I mean, hey, once the season's over with, after 2 or 3 months of rest and recovery, LeBron James will be back. But the likelihood of that happening during the course of this season is not going to happen.
Okay. So the point is, we get to Sunday, and you're up against a Toronto that is 26-38, and I don't think they're going to even make the play-in tournament. No. I think they're going to miss the playoffs.
I agree.
Okay, and they're playing without Anunoby, they're playing without Van Vliet, and you mentioned no Gary Trent Jr.
Correct.
Well, that's kind of the guts of your team.
It is.
Except you still have an aging Kyle Lowry. Once upon a time, it looked like the Lakers were after him, and remember at the end of the trade deadline.
Right.
And, of course, Siakam. And here come both of them, and they just light you up. And I've been questioning all year that the Lakers have stayed number one in defensive efficiency, and I never could figure it out. I think it's in part because they don't really race it up and down, but so they keep their opponents' points down. But last night was just sorry from start to finish because once the second quarter happened, they just looked dead.
They did.
They looked dead in the water. They looked flat.
There are some of the shots that Kyle Lowry hit, Skip, you just look to the coaches like, hey, what you want me to do? I mean, he had a step back with a 4-point play with KCP. He hit one over Caruso. I mean, once he got it going, and what we're seeing, Skip, when these guys get hot, we saw Jason Tatum go get 50, go get 60. We saw the kid, the youngest, he's the second youngest to go get a 50-10 game. He's 20 years old. Once these guys see the ball go in a couple of times, it's all, you can't play no defense. You got to shut that off before it gets started, because if you don't, what happened with Kyle Lowry? He's 8 of 13. He couldn't miss. Pascal Siakam. They let Siakam go for what, 19 in the first quarter, 16, 19 in the first quarter? Well, Skip, AD got him. Skip, AD is one of the better defensive players in all of basketball.
I'll give you that.
You can't let Siakam do that.
Okay, so that happens. And then, again, I don't know how much LeBron's pride is injured or his ankle is still hurt. I don't know, because who knows? But you think it's still a big problem.
So let me ask you a question. When you watch LeBron get up and down the court, he looks normal to you?
I didn't see him limping.
Skip, no. Like I said, if you got a pause, the answer is no. Because you told me, well, if I got a pause to think about if a guy gets in the Hall of Fame, the answer is no. I ask you, does LeBron look normal? You pause, which means no.
Well,
okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
No,
I'm trying to think, did I see any time when he just looked slow?
Does he look the same?
He had a good early and one where he just drove it to the right and sort of shot a sort of running fall away off the glass.
He doesn't look the same. Anybody that's watching LeBron will tell you LeBron James does not look the same today as he looked before he had that injury.
Okay, so then out of nowhere, and it was shades of Luka in Dallas. We're going to talk more about Luka in a few minutes here on the show, but LeBron just brings up the play-in tournament because all of a sudden they're on the verge of it.
Yes.
They're tied with Portland and Dallas, but they have the edge over Portland just because they beat them in the one time they played this year, right? So they're teetering on the play-in tournament, right? So he brings up whoever came up with that, you know what, needs to be fired. And so I'm thinking, who did come up with that? Well, I'm not sure whose original idea it was, but it sure worked in the bubble last year, right? It was exciting in the bubble. Everybody, they didn't just like it, they loved it.
Right.
So I don't know if it's the commissioner or I think Mark Cuban.
They're trying to recoup the money that they lost during the pandemic. And I believe moving forward, Skip, you're going to have, now I don't know if you're going to have 8, 9, 10, if you have 10, you might have it like you had last year. Yeah. It might be a situation like they had in the bubble, Skip. I believe that's going to be the scenario going forward, because guess what? That's an extra game. That's extra revenue. So they're going to try to recoup this revenue somehow.
Okay. So remember a couple of weeks back, Luka suddenly, when he realized, we're on the verge of being in the play-in, he blasted it. And yet his owner was a driving force behind getting it to a vote. So it goes to a vote of owners and Adam Silver.
Right.
And guess what the vote was? It was unanimous.
Yes.
So I guess LeBron thinks that every owner and the commissioner should be fired because they all voted for it.
Well, I'm not surprised, Skip, because I said when LeBron, if I'm not mistaken, they were in second place, I said they'd be lucky to be in the play-in tournament by the time he returned. And lo and behold, here we are. I'm not surprised by this. I'm surprised with how poorly AD has played in his return. And I figured it would take him a game, Skip, but he doesn't look the same. I mean, you can't play. How many minutes AD played last night? AD played 33 minutes and gave you 12 points. Skip, that's Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis once had a game of 59-20. He's a walking 27, 28, 10, 11 rebound game. He plays that many minutes and only gives you 12 points? That's unacceptable. We can't have that.
I will give you AD. I am having a hard time. I'm trying to go back through my mental notebook about LeBron. I'm seeing him shoot all the same shots. He's shooting fallaways last night.
Yeah, Skip, there are times that LeBron could just step on it and get to the rim. Having had that injury, you're out there, but you know I can't do the same thing. And it's a very humbling feeling. It's not a very good feeling to know all they see is 84 and Sharp on the back of that jersey. All everyone sees is Lakers with James on the back of that jersey. And knowing I can't put my foot in the dirt and do what I normally do. Knowing that he can't put his foot on that court and turn the corner and elevate and do all the things. Yeah, he's shooting jump shots, Skip. But LeBron James, they can't guard. Look who they had to guard LeBron. They can't guard LeBron. Before LeBron got hurt, LeBron would have did whatever he wanted to do. But he can't do that anymore. He knows that. But no one cares because if they see you out there, they expect you to give them that same level of greatness that you've bestowed upon them for 18 years.
So remember, Kevin Durant, missed 23 games, came back against the Pelicans and goes 5 of 5 from the field and 2 of 2 from 3 and 5 of 5 from the free throw line for 17 points.
His game
17, 7, and 5 in a big win over the Pelicans. And he looked like he'd never missed a dribble.
But his game is totally different than LeBron. Kevin Durant is not looking to put the ball on the floor, and get to the basket. That's not what Kevin Durant game is.
Sometimes he does.
But that's not. His game is predicated. KD is going to hesitate, pull up. KD is going to get to the mid-range and pull up. KD is really not getting. LeBron is getting to the rim. LeBron has the 5th or 6th highest percentage in the paint because he spends so much time there. That's not. Their games are totally, totally different. So KD is going to be less affected by injury on the lower half than what LeBron is. That's LeBron. If LeBron was to shoot a Steph Curry, okay, fine. Steph Curry could have an injury on his lower body, and he will be fine because his game is not about driving and shooting. It's about handles and getting the shot up. KD is the exact same way. So KD is going to be less affected by the injury that's on the bottom than a LeBron James.
So KD coming off his hamstring issue, and it seemed like it was torn, like it was a serious one. He just went back-to-back 42-point games, and LeBron missed 20 games, only 23 for Kevin, 20 for LeBron, and now it looks like LeBron could be out again, right?
I think it's highly unlikely that he plays tonight against the Nuggets.
All right, so here come the Nuggets, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They lost Jamal Murray, and they have won 9 of their last 10 because that little kid, he's not a kid, he's 30 years old, that Campazzo from Argentina has become the catalyst point guard that they did not have.
No, because that MVP has been the MVP. Nikola Jokic, which I told you is the MVP, and Michael Porter Jr. Remember?
Every time I look up, Michael Porter Jr. makes another shot. And every time I look up, Aaron Gordon makes another shot.
Aaron Gordon has been okay, but Skip, Michael Porter Jr., and I said it last year, watching him in the bubble, I said, man, if this kid put on like 5 or 6 pounds, Skip, he's